Where are you now that I need you?
Hey guys, so today I'm going to show you how to fix broken makeup. If you're like me and have shattered something, this is going to be a lifesaver for you. So first things first is you're going to need your makeup that you broke. Unfortunately, I broke my Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer, but this will work on any eyeshadow or anything that's powdered. Then you're going to need a Ziploc baggie as well as a spoon or butter knife and also some alcohol. And then you're also going to need some kind of tissue or paper towel. I'm using paper towel because it's a little more absorbent. And then you're going to need something with a flat edge. I'm using the cap of my model in a bottle and we'll be using this at the end. So this is a little overview of all the products you're going to need. So starting off, you're going to take that plastic bag, open it up, and dump all of your broken pieces of product in there. So I'm just taking my bronzer, dumping it in the bag, and as you can see, there's going to be nothing left in my compact. And we're going to clean this later, but for now, you can just set that aside. And then you're going to make sure there's no air bubbles in the bag and just Ziploc it closed. Then this is where I'm taking my spoon and I'm going to be crushing up all those big pieces. You don't want any big chunks or anything left over. You want it all to be pretty finely milled and really crushed nicely. So just work it until you have it down to a fine powder. For most of it, I used my spoon to crush it up, but then at the end, I took the cap to my model in a bottle spray, and I find that just really crushed it down that last little bit that I needed to really get it nice and finely milled. So once you're done, this is what it should look like. Really nice, smooth powder, no big chunks or anything. And then you're going to take your compact and go clean that out. I just used soap and water and then wiped it out with paper towel, and it's brand new. And then you're going to take your powder and dump that back into the compact, making sure to be careful and not spill it everywhere. And then once you're done, you can just recycle the bag because you're not going to need that anymore. Then you're going to go ahead and take your alcohol, and I'm doing this by pouring it in the cap because you don't want to end up with too much because it's way easier to add more than take it away. So I just did a cap size there, and you can see it just really dissolves into the product. So right away I'm just going to add one more cap size, and then I'm going to start stirring it with my spoon. Now this part can get a little messy and sticky, so you just kind of want to take your time with it. I'm just stirring it, and then as I see fit, I add more alcohol, stir it, add more alcohol, stir it, add more alcohol, and it just is a process getting that consistency that you want. You want it to be more like a frosting paste kind of consistency, not too thick but nothing too watery either, just enough for you to be able to manipulate it. Right here I added one more capful, and then that was pretty much perfect. You want it to look kind of like this where you can really spread it around and maneuver the product. And once you get it to this consistency here, you want to kind of just spread it around and get it as even as possible. This part is going to get a little sticky as well, and this is pretty much where I got the most dirty, I would say. But you want to just do your best to kind of even it out and get it as smooth as you can. And this is where the butter knife comes in handy too, because you can kind of spread it a little easier, and it's more like icing a cake when you're using this. And like I said, you're not going to get it perfect, but it should look something like this. Just get it as smooth and even as you can. And then I'm just giving it a few drops on the table to get out any air bubbles, because if there's air bubbles locked in the product, it's going to cause cracking after it dries. So then once I'm done with that, I'm just taking a little bit of tissue or paper towel and cleaning up the edges of the compact so that it looks nice and clean. So once you have it looking like this, I'm setting my timer for 2 hours, and I'm just letting this sit and dry. Now when you come back, it should look something like this. It still will not be completely dry. It's still going to be a little bit smushy and tacky. But this is where you're going to take your paper towel. I'm going to take the side without the design on it, otherwise you're going to get those printed bubbles into your product. And you're just going to place this over the compact and take your flat edge. And I'm just going to be pressing this down and this is going to make the product flat and perfect and look like you never dropped it and broke it in the first place. Also, don't be afraid to use some pressure. As you can see, I lifted it up and saw that it wasn't quite as flat as I wanted, so I'm just putting it back down and using some more pressure and just working the product down into the compact, and you can do this multiple times until it's as flat as you will like it. And using the paper towel, it's going to help and absorb some of that extra alcohol in there as well. But the good thing about the alcohol is it's not going to change the consistency of the product at all, because it's going to evaporate once it's dry. And then once you're done, it should look something like this. And I left mine overnight just to make sure it was completely dry. And then in the morning, it should look brand new. So as you can see, this is mine. The pigmentation is still there. Mine still smells like chocolate, blends out really nice, and the formula is exactly the same and not altered at all from the alcohol. So I love this trick, and now I have my bronzer back, and I hope this can help you with any broken makeup products you may have as well. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, I will see you all in my next one. Bye guys.
Where are you now that I need you?